Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about communicating efficiently with the ASD individuals. Researchers are discovering more and more information on the autism spectrum disorder. A disorder that was very likely uncommon 30 years ago is now diagnosed in 1 in every 100 individuals. According to Autism Speaks website, most people know at least one person with ASD, and sometimes that person doesn't even know that they have ASD due to lack of diagnosis. Do you believe that non-neurodivergent people take in consideration of ASD individuals and their communication needs when in a public setting? The main issue is lack of communication. When most people hear of autism spectrum individual, they automatically have a mental persona of what they think autism should be. However, that's the issue. Sometimes you may never know unless the individual tells you. However, that's the issue. If you are unaware, autism is a developmental condition affecting individuals' interactions and communication with others. But that does not mean this person is dumb or retarded. Heck, I even have an autism diagnosis and I'm taking this class just like you. It's very common for ASD individuals to have a speech delay, making it harder for others to understand when speaking. Needing more time to process information due to the way our brains break down information. ASD individuals often struggle to interpret social cues. For instance, if a person is frowning with their arms crossed and maybe just extremely tired, the autistic individual may automatically think you're upset with them due to your body language. Being autistic does not make you deaf either, but you would be surprised how many people actually treat them as such. Verbal or nonverbal, they can hear the words coming out of your mouth. However, the way an autistic individual interprets information is going to be by body language, tone, and speed of what the information being delivered. If more of the communities were willing to learn how to effectively communicate with ASD individuals, it would help reduce misunderstandings, build stronger relationships, improve social and workplace success, as well as reducing anxiety and stress on those individuals. Now that we've covered ASD and some of the difficulties of their lives and benefits of learning communication, I will go over how to learn some techniques for a non-neurodivergent person to be able to effectively communicate. Patience is the big key. Giving them time to process information. Personally, I see the world as black and white. But when things go gray, I need time to process the good, the bad, and all ways things can take place. I need to think of all the possibilities I need. Also, when speaking to someone with a speech impairment, be patient and try to understand them. Just because they don't sound like you or unable to put words together in the way you do, doesn't mean they don't deserve to be heard. Giving direct directions can also help with confusion and prolonged anxiety with ASD individuals. If you're able to write down instructions for a big task, please do. If you're not communicating how you want things to be done and you come back later and these papers are supposed to be done this way, but they do them that way, and even if it's an easy fix, can cause anxiety, self-esteem issues, and possible depression in these individuals. Even when you don't write out directions, please be as detailed as possible when giving oral communication. Being open to accepting all forms of communication. Speak such as very direct, honest, and straightforward. Non-verbal, such as facial expressions, patterns of eye contact, and gestures. Sometimes written communication works best for writing a letter or an email expressing your concerns. Sometimes extra time to respond due to processing information. The last suggestion I have for autistic communication is to recognize that behavior is a way of communication instead of a personal insult. If a person with autistic is overstimulated, they may hit, scream, yell, etc. They also may want to lock themselves in the bathroom and be alone for a while. Although this behavior may be unacceptable in a typical setting, please try to keep in mind these people don't want to act this way, nor do the things that they are doing. But they could also, a lot of times, trying to process information and emotions and thoughts can be extremely challenging when the verbal communicating. They can misinterpret it or feel unseen or unheard, which could cause an intense reaction. Being able to recognize behavior and communication skills, having patience and empathy with an autistic individual will help the person feel more comfortable and build a relationship with you in the long run. Looking forward to the future, with more and more studies being done, information being learned, why not learn how to effectively communicate with autism? With 1 in 100 people with an ISD diagnosis, likelihood of you currently knowing someone or knowing someone in the future is very likely. To me, it's simply slowing down, having patience, and paying attention. An ASD diagnosis does not make the people. Those people are people as well. People that want to make their own decisions once they become adults. People that want to have a job and also be included on the playground at recess. If it was your child being misinterpreted, dismissed, when they're trying to communicate like everyone else, would you want to learn more about how to help your child? So why not start using these techniques now when communicating in public setting with someone who needs just a little extra support and understanding? Thank you.